He's from Cameroon. You want me not to?
Just you need everybody watching, huh?
I know. That's okay. That's okay, here comes nothing. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Got it up higher?
Today.
All right.
There you go. Would you like me to come?
No, you just go ahead anytime you're ready.
Mr. Biden, do you expect that teachers will have early access to the vaccine? And if so, do you think that moves the timetable of the get to back to class?
Would you like a Band-Aid?
It doesn't matter. You think I need one, I'll put it on. Okay. So look, what I want to say is we owe these folks an awful lot. The scientists and the people who put this together, the frontline workers, the people who were the ones who actually did the clinical work. It's just amazing. And I wish we had time to take you through the whole hospital to see how busy and incredible you all are. And we owe you big. We really do. And one of the things is that I think that the administration deserves some credit getting this off the ground with Operation Warp Speed. I also think that it's worth saying that this is great hope. I'm doing this to demonstrate that people should be prepared when it's available to take the vaccine. There's nothing to worry about. I'm looking forward to the second shot. So is Jill. She's had her shot earlier today. She loves shots, I know, but I've had so many. But at any rate, is that for me? My next visit. And but the important thing is that it's worth stating that this is just the beginning. It's one thing to get the vaccine out, and now Moderna is going to be on the road as well. But it's going to take time. It's going to take time. In the meantime, I know I don't want to sound like a sour note here, but I hope people listen to all the experts and the Dr. Fauci's on, talking about the need to wear masks during this Christmas and New Year's holidays, wear masks, socially distance, and if you don't have to travel, don't travel. Don't travel. It's really important because we're still in the thick of this. It's one thing to have the vaccine show up at a hospital. There's another thing to get the vaccine from that vial into a needle, into an arm. And there's millions of people out there that are going to need this, frontline workers first. But I just want to thank everyone for all that they've done. There's some real heroes, and you're among them. Thank you.
As President-elect Joe Biden getting his first dose of the Pfizer vaccine, joined by his wife, soon-to-be First Lady, Dr. Jill Biden, who got her vaccine earlier this morning. And joining me now for more on this is Dr. Jennifer Ashton and Chief White House correspondent John Karl. Dr. Ashton, I want to start with you. First of all, I know you got your vaccine this morning, too, so hope you are feeling well. But how important do you think this moment is for the American public to see the president-elect getting vaccinated right there on camera?
Diane, I think it's massively important to inspire confidence in science and make people understand that this is the long-term objective to get everyone vaccinated, but short-term, we are still in the midst of an unprecedented crisis. And just some important things about numbers and age, Diane. The CDC estimates that 8 out of 10 COVID-related deaths occurred in people 65 years of age and older. We've known that people who are older are at at much higher risk of COVID-19 complications and deaths. And the CDC just announced that they actually recommend that people 75 and up go in the next group, along with essential workers, which is going to be a massive group of people. Just essential workers, about 80 million people, and then over 50 million adults potentially in that older age group. Good news, though, Diane, clinical trials on these vaccines have shown that the so-called reactogenicity, or those side effects that can be so common in younger people, much less of an issue as we get older. So hopefully President-elect Biden won't feel too many of those aches, pains in the next day or days ahead.
And Dr. Asher, when it comes to side effects, that is one of the things people hesitate about when they think about these vaccines, particularly when you're looking at these age groups and extra risk factors like allergies, which I know you have. How do people at home then analyze whether or not they should get this vaccine?
Well, I think we have to distinguish between the possibility of a rare, serious allergic reaction, which now, according to the CDC, in their 272,000 doses, they've tracked 6 allergic reactions. You do the math, that comes to about 1 in 45,000 doses. You put that up against the risks of COVID, Diane, there's no comparison. The risk of COVID way higher. And then in terms of side effects, we've seen this with other vaccines. The shingles vaccine, even the influenza vaccine, has some temporary side effects. Those are not considered adverse events. That's just your body's immune system doing its job. So people should be aware of it and prepare for it and expect it. And if you don't get it, consider yourself lucky.
And we heard the president-elect there encouraging people to get the vaccine as soon as it is available to them, but also emphasizing that it's still important to take all the usual precautions, to wear masks, to socially distant. How important is that message, and is that being delivered to people as they're receiving the vaccine?
It wasn't at my hospital, but I think that's because of the population. We're all people who know what those recommendations are very well. We live it every single day. But I asked Dr. Anthony Fauci just recently when we may expect to see some of the vaccination metrics. In other words, how well it's working. He said that will not be until early April, May, June of next year. So right now, it's yes, get the vaccine when your turn is up, when it's available and accessible to you, but we cannot stop with the mask wearing and distancing, given the numbers and the rates that we're seeing right now.
And as you said, the CDC is now advising people 75 or older and frontline workers be next in line to get this vaccine. Ultimately, it will be up to states who actually ends up being next in line for the vaccine in each location. But how do people go about finding out if they do fall into that category and if they are eligible for the vaccine?
Well, I think it will be pretty clear what category applies to you. Remember, there's going to be some overlap, people with pre-existing medical conditions who are also essential workers, or people who are essential workers who may even be in an older age group. So when your characterization comes up, I think people will know. And hopefully at that time, Diane, we'll see the private sector pharmacies like the CVS's and Walgreens step up and start to offer it there in the drive-through vaccination. So I think it'll be coming soon.
All right, and I want to bring in Jonathan Karl now. John, we saw the vice president already got vaccinated. Now we've got the president-elect vaccinated. How important is it for the public to see these leaders getting vaccinated? And what do you make of the conversation around the president and when he might get vaccinated?
Well, I think it's incredibly important for the people that are in leadership positions in our government to show that they have the confidence in the process that brought this incredible development of a vaccine developed less than a year after the virus was really even understood, even known about. It's really an incredible process, but to show that they have confidence enough to take the vaccine themselves. As for the president, you know, I actually asked Donald Trump if he would be willing to take the vaccine about 6 months ago. It was not long after Operation Warp Speed was announced, and he told me at that point, I mean, this is when it was simply a concept, when we really hadn't gone anywhere yet in terms of the development of this vaccine, and he said flatly that he would be more than willing to take the vaccine, that he had confidence in it. Now, That said, he has said next to nothing except to take credit in recent days for the rapidity to which this vaccine was developed. He has said nothing about his own plans. We know, of course, he had COVID-19. He received that experimental treatment. The CDC guidelines would suggest that he would wait some time before getting the vaccine himself, but he has said virtually nothing about his plans right now.
All right, so waiting to hear more and see more from the president on that front. Our chief White House correspondent, Jonathan Karl, and Dr. Jennifer Ashton, thank you both. But President-elect Joe Biden is now receiving his first dose of the Pfizer vaccine. He has just received that dose. We will have continuing updates right here on ABC News Live throughout the day, and a complete wrap-up tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern on ABC News Live Prime with Lindsay Davis, and of course more on World News Tonight with David Muir. Thanks for joining us. Have a good rest of your day.
This has been a special report from ABC News.
Stiffness and help stop further joint damage, even without methotrexate. Xeljanz can lower your ability to fight infections. Before and during treatment, your doctor should check for infections like TB and do blood tests. Tell your doctor if you've had hepatitis